Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 3, where we've still got a pretty big deficit going on here. We are of course going to be fighting down over here, and that seems okay. Our economy is definitely growing reasonably as we've been working our way through these kind of lower qualification jobs. And that's ultimately a good thing. No doubt about that. So we're going to continue to work on that. They want us to restore legal guardianship, huh? We're probably not going to end up doing that. I think we're in a pretty decent position right now, radicalism-wise. We're at legitimate 89. Ooh. Supporting regime is dropping us down below righteous government. I'm not sure we want to drop that. What about dropping taxes here? I don't know, that feels potentially grim, but definitely an interesting option. So I want to check in real quick at what we've got going on here. This is going down, and it would go up if we weren't supporting the regime. Okay. We are losing efficiency on that. That is noted. Let's try cutting our taxes and see what happens. I know that's going to be rough on our deficit. No doubt about it. But that puts us up in righteous government. And we're gaining 17k additional loyalists per month. So that's something, anyway. It's definitely something. So, war has broken out. We don't expect this to be particularly challenging. That is fine. So, minus construction efficiency over here in Buenos Aires. That is, of course, due to the turmoil. We're working on it. We've still got a fair amount of radicalism, but that radicalism is absolutely on the decline at this moment. So that looks very solid indeed. If we take a look at our standard of living has jumped up. We're well above the minimum expected standard of living, but we're still not where we want to be exactly. Hi, Victory. You're a pause menu. Yes, I'm aware of that. So that is absolutely okay for now. Now, we do have possible actions for the positivist stage. And do we want to take anything here? Honestly, not really. It's going to time out in 5 years, and we're just chilling at 5%. So I'm not too concerned about that one. Brazilian naval power is going to be finished up fairly soon, and that looks solid too. Okay, so Mapuche has, in fact, capitulated, which is not surprising. Great Britain is, of course, being a little bit of a jerk over here, but that's also in the category of unsurprising. So we can see here we're now at good construction efficiency in Buenos Aires. Radicalism is actually just straight up gone here. Remarkable. I like it. That's really good. So we're going to get these constructions done a lot faster now, and that is great. We absolutely want our GDP to continue skyrocketing the way it currently is. So, the question is, do we want to build all of these wheat farms right now? Well, Mendoza is still low construction efficiency. Santa Cruz is also still, a lot of these are still low construction efficiency. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop back over here, and we're going to reduce the construction queue position of anything that is low construction efficiency right now. We want to give that time to drop. So we're just going to work our way through these. There's only so much of this that can be worked on at the moment, right? So we've got these wheat farms in Buenos Aires again. Yeah, coal mines in Mendoza, Bajo Paraguay. All of this is still low efficiency. It's just Buenos Aires where that has changed so far. Noted. So what are we paying right now in interest? 6.47k? That's not bad. I'm not too concerned about this deficit in that case. Okay. So that seems good. If we check in on our institutions, we could bump up our social security, which I think is interesting. We're not paying much for welfare right now. So we would need to get ourselves a fair amount of additional bureaucracy to do that. That is certainly a potential option. We're chilling on righteous government for the time being, and we're definitely seeing this. Okay, the radicalism went up there a little bit. Why? Discrimination. Okay, yeah. Fair enough. And standard of living below expected minimum. Also in the category of fair enough. I wouldn't mind bumping up government and military wages, but for now, I don't feel like we're in a position where we can really do that. So I think we're not going to do that for the current moment. Our radicalism is definitely trending downward by a significant margin. I would like to deal with that discrimination issue. The question is, can we do anything about that? No. We absolutely can't. Unless we were able to accept other cultures. But I don't think we can do that. So, these are not discriminated. This is discriminated. Can we do anything about that? Like, can we set whether cultures are discriminated against or not? I don't think so. And let's sort by turmoil here. So, Chilean is currently the highest turmoil. That makes sense. We recently conquered Chile, so that's not surprising. South Andean, huh? They might start a secession movement. That is a problem. That's noted. Okay. Well, we're working on it. If we go into our education here, universities give innovation and qualifications. They don't actually give integration rate. Okay, do we need universities right now? We're generating exactly at our cap, so we're going to have to keep that in mind. We're probably going to have to expand our universities relatively soon-ish. Okay. There's not a lot we can do about our current situation other than just let our radicalism drop. And I think that's the thing to do. I think that is the only thing to do at this moment. Our standard of living is creeping upwards. Our GDP is still creeping upwards as well. So that seems okay. We are deficit spending at this moment, but I'm fine with that. So that seems good. What's less good is the fact that we're at 0 infamy. I don't suppose we could go after Ecuador. If we did this, who would be angry? So this would be a grand total of like 32 infamy. Java? Why would Java come in on this? The US would probably not. We're still working on increasing relations with them, although that's going to reach max fairly soon. Okay. Java might actually join here. It'd be really strange. But they might. So, Java, we may have to increase our opinion with you. Cost 225? Okay. Well, that's not necessarily great. Maybe if we were to do, like... There's not really a non-aggression pact that we can do here. What's their actual power level? 2022? That's actually a little lower than ours. And Ecuador's is 374. It would take them a while to get here in theory. I really do want to take that over. However, they're part of the Spanish power bloc. Does that have an effect on this? I don't know how power blocks really work. They're multinational associations led by a great power, major power, or unrecognized major power that grant powerful effects to the leaders and members. They serve the bloc leader in building their sphere of influence by building up leverage advantage in countries to make them join the power bloc. But if we go in here and we look at these demands, they're not in this list. Okay. So Java preference for Brazil is currently minus 189. Okay. Noted. Sympathy towards... They have more sympathy for us. Okay. They're an antagonistic attitude. I don't think they're actually going to join, and even if they did, we might be able to stop them in terms of... Well, what's their naval power projection? 1336? They have a higher naval power projection than us. That's noted. I still want to do this. Okay. So they, of course, are going to refuse those demands. That was obvious. Next up, we're going to mobilize these guys, and we're going to send them off to the front. Just this one army will hold the rest in reserve for right now. So that seems fine. Vulcanization has been unlocked. Cool. So that will allow us to get some demand for rubber. That is very, very good for us. Conveyors is probably a good thing to go for. We'll consider going for that. Now, we're going to want to get some of these production methods online. So elastics. This is going to absolutely spike the price of rubber, and we are very happy about that. The price of rubber going up is very good. Machine steel tools is, I think, fine here too. That will get us additional rubber demand. Yes, we have a shortage of rubber. That is understood. We aren't electrified yet. That is fine. We're going to start working on electrification relatively soon-ish. So I think that's about what we've got. So what's our deficit here? Minus 218 on the silk. Now, I believe we can build synthetics plants at this point. And that will produce dye. Do we have a production method to produce art silk at this point? I think we do. I'm going to build one of these, just to make sure. Let's sort by job seekers. We'll put this in, say, Bajo Paraguay. There's still a lot of peasants there. So we'll put one there. Now, that's currently negative, but that's okay. Next up is the rubber shortage. So minus 386. So if we go into here, we can grab rubber plantations. Does this require an arable land for rubber plantations? Hang on. I'm not actually sure about that. It doesn't say in... Okay, minus 1 arable land per level. And then if we go in here, it does not require arable land. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to sort by job seekers, and this is going to be in like Minas Gerais for right now. And we're just going to start absolutely tanking the price of rubber here. Okay, so something along the lines of this. That'll do for now. That'll get some rubber going. That'll be good. And we're going to want to move up this synthetic plant. I'm going to move these 3 wheat farms as well, since they're already in progress. And let's move a rubber plantation up, because I do want to make sure that we're working on rubber plantations. We're gonna need it. So that seems relatively fine for now. I want to prioritize the synthetics plant, because we're going to want it to be on... Oh, we don't have art silk. Okay, good to know. I'm going to cancel that. So we're not going to work on that. We are short on silk. Noted. We're going to have to import the silk then if we don't have art silk. So we're currently working on conveyors. Art silk is here. Right. Let's grab art silk right now. That'll do for now. And then I do want to import some silk here. No available options. Okay, let's give it a weak tick and see if that remains at no available options. It's gone. The silk shortage is gone. Okay, so I guess it rerouted. We do have some market access issues here, Bahia and Piauí, so that is fine. We can definitely build a railway in both of those locations. That'll be a relatively high priority, and I think this is fine as it is. Okay, we're going to start working on our rubber shortage, and each of these rubber plantations is producing how much? 60 a level. And we have how many levels queued up here? Well, we already have 2 rubber plantations here, but we then have 19 queued up. So what's 19 times 60? 19 times 60 is 1,140 rubber. That feels like way too much rubber, to be honest. I'm going to back off in Pernambuco. And I'm also strongly considering backing off in Minas Gerais. Something like this. So now we're going to be producing like 600 rubber. And this is way more than we need, in theory. So in theory, we need like 5 of these. I'm still going to build the 10 for the moment. So these rubber plantations need to be brought up. Something like this. Apparently, I canceled, or I brought up these previously. That's fine. Not too concerned about that. Okay. Now, in terms of this, we're going to want to add a war goal, and this is going to be Conquer State Pastaza. We're at 24 right now, and how long do we have? We've got a few days yet in our escalation here. Okay. So Java is still not in this. That's fine. They might join when we add this Workle, which is why I want to let this escalate up as much as possible to let our infamy drop as much as we possibly can. So 77, 78, and 79. We now need to add this Workle at this moment. So we add in Pastaza. That is going to bring us up to 31, which is about where we expect it to be. This is, of course, going to pause the escalation for a couple of days. And now we're in the countdown to war. No one joined. Perfect. So that looks phenomenal. Ecuador will fall. I don't know if we're able to attack out over here. That could be interesting. We might need to have these guys. Let's see. They need to deploy to a C node. But we need to put in an admiral here. So we're going to deploy them up to the Galapagos C node. Okay. So that'll be fine, and then hopefully we can use them to invade the Galapagos Islands if we need to. I'm not 100% certain that we need to, even. So that seems fine. War with Ecuador has broken out, which is expected, and these trade routes are inactive. That is also in the category of expected. So I'm going to remove some of these trade routes that are currently considered negative or inactive. There we go. And what does that put us at? Minus 277 on rubber. That seems fine. So we're going to get these rubber plantations done quite quickly. That's not really a particularly big deal. And Ecuador will be under our control. Now, New Granada's a bit of a problem. France is their overlord, and Britain is guaranteeing Venezuela. So we might not be able to get these anytime soon, but this is reasonably fine for now. Cool. And our GDP is still working on recovering. We did our goods substitution of rubber, and we've got a big ol' deficit of rubber. So it's going to be a little bit before that comes up. That's understood. I'm going to intersperse wheat farms, I think, and we're going to put this wheat farm here, and then we'll move this wheat farm up to about here or so. The rest of these we'll just wait on for the moment, but I do want to work on wheat farms fairly quickly here. Okay, so that seems fine. Minus 9.7% construction efficiency in Mendoza. Looks good. And we're at 29.8 on the infamy right now. We're going to let that continue to tick down. I don't expect this Ecuadorian war to be very difficult. In fact, it's already pretty much over. They're at plus 14 at this moment. They cannot be dropped below 0. This is Ecuador. This is Pastaza. This is considered part of Ecuador out here in Galapagos. Okay, noted. So we'll keep an eye on that. And this battle is definitely progressing nicely. No shockers there. So I want to move up here. We finished up those railways, and that is very, very good, of course. We're going to move these wheat farms up to intersperse. So something along the lines of this for now. Actually, we can get up to here. There we go. And now on this next weak tick, we're going to be able to move this up right to here. Perfect. That'll do. We're now showing no market goods shortage, and that is excellent. What is this? The play for power? The industrialists are playing for power, huh? Sure. Seems relatively okay. So let's check in on our market here. Closing. This is probably due to the price of rubber. Probably. But I think we should get a textile mill or two. Our current market deficit here is like 1,000. Yeah, market balance of minus 1.2k. So we should probably get some textile mills going here. We're currently producing primarily luxury clothes. And we could swap that, but I don't think I'm going to. Instead, I think what we're going to do is, well, I'm thinking about it. What is the current price on luxury clothes? It's probably rock bottom. Yeah, minus 44. I want to be consuming rubber. So, if we check our textile mills, elastics gives us... Yeah, that puts it heavier into the luxury clothes. But I want to consume the rubber, is the thing. So, I think that means that we're just going to have to get more textile mills. They're not going to be the most efficient thing in the world, because of the price of luxury clothing. It's not going to be ideal, but I want to consume that rubber for sure. So what is like 1.2k divided by 30? That would be 40 levels. I'm not going to build 40 levels. We could definitely build these in La Paz. The earnings are going up. That's weird. Now they're starting to go down again. Now they're just kind of holding. This is very confusing. I don't think this number is accurate. I'm not going to make this many in La Paz, obviously. That was never the plan. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to back off on these a fair amount. I was just curious about what that number was doing. It's kind of wild. But yeah, we're not going to make this many. That was obviously never going to be the case. I'm going to make like 3 or 4. We'll make 2 for now. That'll be okay. So Ecuador capitulated. Perfect. Ecuador is now part of our territory. We are, of course, going to start incorporating Ecuador. Pastaza is already incorporated, and we're going to need to reset production methods in these areas. So that seems reasonably fine. That does bump our number of radicals up, of course, but we're going to continue to work on that. We're quite negative as well on our bureaucracy, and I would like to bring that up. We're going to need at least 2 government administrations, and Minas Gerais seems like the place to do that. So we're going to do that. Next, I want to bring up a wheat farm and a rubber plantation and put that here. And then a wheat farm, rubber plantation, and then a wheat farm and rubber plantation like this. Okay, so that'll be reasonably fine. We'll just get to work on that. We're running a big old deficit, which isn't surprising. And what do they have up here? Well, I want to check in on potentially resources. Okay, not a lot of resources like gold or anything up here. That's fine. That is absolutely noted. Oil has been discovered in Rio Grande do Sul. That would be great. But for now, I want to work our way through this construction queue. And we still have a big old deficit here. This isn't surprising. We're paying about 10k in interest right now. That's noted. And 122k from construction goods. So we're doing okay for now. I would rather not idle our construction if possible. I want to just continue to grow this GDP. So that looks solid. What's the current price on rubber? So let's go in here and check market price. Sort by market price, thank you. Current price of rubber is not very high, actually. Rubber's at minus 17. Okay, so I'm going to cancel any rubber plantations that we haven't yet started. We don't need to put any additional rubber production in. That seems good for now. So we're going to get these government administrations done in 4 weeks. That might not actually be enough bureaucracy. We'll see. That'll be done pretty soon, though. So the textile mill in La Paz will be done in a couple of weeks. Looks good. And if we check in on our market prices here, clothing is still very high. We still have an engine price issue, and let's check in to see if that has hired in yet. So in La Paz, that's hired in, for sure. In our territories, not so much. So, why is this? Why are we not hiring here? Wages too low. Okay. Wages definitely too low. So steel is too expensive, I think, is the issue here. That's fine. We can definitely hop into our resources and deal with steel mills. Or rather, let's check in on our steel mills. Are they fully employed? Well, we have some infrastructure issues in Bahia. That's understood. They're not fully employed. Okay, so the current price of coal appears to be the root issue there. We can address that, and we can also address our railway issues here. We need market access in Piauí, Bahia, and Acre. So in Bahia, for sure, I feel like we just built in Piauí. That is correct. This railway should be subsidized. Okay. And then we can check in on Acre, which is here. What do we got going on for our railways here? Do we have a railway here? We might not. Yeah, we have no railway. So we'll get a level 1 railway building there. That looks good. So we'll do something like that, but I do want to move up the textile mills first. and then move this wheat farm to be about here. About like so. Okay, so that'll work for now. And we also want to deal with that coal issue. We're going to be building coal mines in Mendoza fairly soon. So I think for the moment, we'll just continue to work through this as it is, and we'll deal with those coal mines when we can. Now we've expanded the rubber industry. Okay, that seems good. But we need more demand for rubber, really, before we can expand that any further. So that's looking good. We're going to get a couple of textile mills done here, and we may want to consider changing our production. Well, actually, I think the reason why it's working better in La Paz is probably because the production method here does not have elastics on. I'm betting that's what's going on here, and we can actually utilize that to our advantage. So that sounds pretty decent. So we can check this textile mill here. Yeah, we can see that they're on non-luxury clothing as their priority, and that sounds good. That will definitely help out our market. So that sounds great. We'll move up this wheat farm to here and continue to prioritize these wheat farms a little bit higher because we want to get through that and get to the coal mines. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to bring down the price of steel a little bit, which will make making engines be a little bit more attractive, hopefully. We're also working a little bit on this clothes market. That definitely needs quite a lot of work. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy Magar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Tommy Kintogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.